So in a similar fashion, an alcohol can react with an aldehyde. This can also occur for sugar. So on the left hand is shown glucose. And so we're going to see what happens when we react the alcohol at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 position with the aldehyde at the 1 position. So these two are going to interact. And so recall, then you're going to form a hemiacetal from this reaction, and you're also going to get one of 2 stereoisomers in this. So the effect of this is that you're going to form a cyclized product, so you're going to form a ring. And so for glucose, so we'll say cyclization. Okay, to form the hemiacetal. So we'll get one product. It looks like this. Okay. This oxygen that attacks the aldehyde ends up here. This group is up here. I'm going to point this upwards. And so there are 2 positions on each of these carbons. So there's one up and one down. So this is called, this sort of figure is called a Haworth projection. And in this, we show the ring, the 6-membered ring of glucose, or of the sugar in this case, as the 6-member ring, and then there's going to be an up and a down position to indicate the stereochemistry, and that shows where these functional groups are. So for glucose, we're going to have an OH here, hydrogen up, OH here. And what's nice about the one I'm going to draw first is you just alternate the sides of the OH group. Okay. All right. And then if we remember how to number our carbons, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the 1 carbon, this is the 2 carbon, 3, 4, 5, and then here's the 6 carbon on top, okay? So remember that we're going to have two stereoisomers. So the one that I've drawn here, where the functional groups, or the hydrogens, I guess we can even say, flip the side every other carbon. So hydrogen's on the bottom here, on the top, on 2, on the bottom, on 3, on the top, on 4, on the bottom, on 5. And this works out for glucose only, okay? This is what's known as a beta anomer. So the full name of this is beta D gluco, because this is glucose. And then in the ring form, it takes the name of pyranose. So pyranose is for a 6-membered ring, okay? There's also another one called a furanose, which is for a 5-membered ring that has this oxygen in the middle. So this is the beta anomer of the D-glucopyranose. Now remember, you can have one of these 2 stereochemistries, so what will be the other one? And that's only at this particular carbon. And so the other one is going to look very similar. Haworth projection. There's our oxygen, CH2OH. Hydrogen is on the bottom, OH is on top, so everything is the same until we get to the 1 carbon. In that case, we flip the stereochemistry of the OH group at this 1 carbon. So this 1 carbon, so remember, this is where the point of attack happens at the aldehyde. Okay, so we can have one of these 2 stereochemistries depending on how this alcohol attacks this. So this is what's known as, where this aldehyde is called the anomeric carbon. So in the linear form, this is the anomeric carbon. And then in the cyclic form, the anomeric carbon and the beta anomer is here, and for the alpha anomer is here. So it's the same carbon, right? And that's where we can have this choice between this alpha, or excuse me, this beta and this alpha anomer. So the name of the configuration on the right is very similar. So it's alpha D-glucopyranose. And the relationship between these 2 are anomers. In fact, these exist in an equilibrium with each other, where the equilibrium actually favors this beta anomer, which appears at about, oops, use a different color, 63.6% in equilibrium. Well, this accounts for the remaining 36.4% in equilibrium. So if you remember what we know about equilibrium, one of these, what that means is one of these is slightly more stable than the other one. And we'll discuss maybe a little bit about, we'll discuss more about why that might be in a bit. But so key points here is that we have an equilibrium between the linear form of glucose and the cyclic form of glucose. And then there's an anomeric carbon, which, because this alcohol can attack from 1 of 2 directions on the aldehyde, it can cause the formation of one of these 2 anomers. And the anomers are different based on where the OH is on what side of this, specifically this anomeric carbon. Okay? And so we can have this equilibrium because these can interconvert back to linear form and then back and then into one of the other anomers. So we have this equilibrium between the beta and the alpha anomer of this glucopyranose. And we've drawn this as a Haworth projection so that we can show what the stereochemistry is in this form. Okay?